Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? I'm here. I'm live. I got some breakfast cooking right now, and I'm going to break down or really talk about, chat with. This is an interactive type of show. Any questions you have for MLB? It starts at 1 today, so less than 4 hours to lock. 10 games, 20 teams. This is the pitching target offense sheet. If you want it in the Discord, let me know. I'll drop it. So yeah, I'll answer any questions that you may have on the NBA as well. The showdown slate, that video is up. As much research as I could put into a showdown slate. The most research I've really put into one, though, adjusting some playoff rates for some of the guys who've been out. But this is the MLB slate. So this is what you get in terms of pitching. Let's see if I can make this brighter. There we go. This is what you get in terms of pitching today. Look, 20 teams, the pitching ratings, they're up. They're in front of you right over my shoulder right now. In terms of stacks, it's 9:10 a.m. right now. I did a little bit, obviously, the show with the NBA, so I've not dug deep into my stacks and things like that. But I can kind of sense where they're going to be going based on where I believe some of my pitching is going to be going on the upper tier. If you've watched some of the videos I've done on the MLB so far, and I believe not loads of people are getting into those because, one, NBA is still going on and it's gaining a lot of attention and attraction. So is PGA on these weekends. And the MLB, let's just put it straightforward, although it's a fun fantasy sport, it is not a fun real-life sport. It is a terrible sport in real life. It is a dying sport, in my opinion, or maybe just no growth in terms of just getting people interested. Younger people, right? The older people, it's fine for them to be interested, but they're not going to be here for that much longer compared to the younger people, right? So that's why I think there's not as much attention, and the other sports just being more popular. What's going on, DFS 300? Good luck to you as well. So I'll be playing MLB today, the afternoon slate. I think there's some good contests. I think that's a good-sized slate at 10 games. Last night, the 15-game slate, a little bit overwhelming at times, but I think it was pretty straightforward as well. Cashing in golf says DFS 300. My main lineup for golf had Bubba, so I would have had 6 out of 6 in my main lineup, which is my higher ticket, higher buy-in lineup. And Bubba obviously choking on 2 of the last 4 holes, just whiffing on putts to get to the cut. So that hurt. So not cashing there, but in the weekend, I had a really good opening day for the weekend. I did a 2-day weekend golf. I'm really good there. I'm just in the green in a 2-day on NBA. A lot of people did the Curry, McCollum, Lillard, and Draymond, Curry, Giannis. The 2-day, I know there's a 10K to first contest, so that's pretty good. So nice, Tyler. Stay in the green, I guess. I don't know who you have left, but I'm rooting for you. Yeah, MLB-wise, look, Chris Sale's on the slate. And I faded Chris Sale the last time out, and I didn't fade him thinking that he was a bad play. I faded him thinking that he's going to be extremely highly owned, and there were some other decent pitchers on that slate. And I think this is a similar slate. I believe Charlie Morton was also on that slate. I believe you had somebody else also on that slate as well who was a good pitcher, and he pitched well, but Chris Sale just went out and threw up a 40-plus burger back-to-back games. And he's in the position now where he's getting a lot of whiffs. His pitches are moving. Earlier in the year, you weren't getting as much whiffs on some of the off-speed pitches, some of the deception that he had, and now you are getting that. So Chris Sale, 11-2, $500 more than the next highest-priced pitcher on the slate. In the way that he's trending is just, it's really hard to ignore. Now, obviously, this is probably the toughest matchup in the entire league that he would go against. So if you're thinking Chris Sale is a fade because of price, because of ownership, and now the matchup comes into account. So yeah, I was off of Chris Sale the last time. It ended up biting me in the butt, but it was more of a contrarian play because I thought there was options on the board, and I think there's options on the board here today. Noah Syndergaard, I think, is against this Miami team that we've been targeting all year. Obviously a clear play for me, or somebody that I'm interested in. Charlie Morton, I'm fine going right back there, although playing a New York team that doesn't strike out as much and has home run upside. And not in a pitcher's ballpark to say, more so neutral compared to a Noah Syndergaard. Yeah, Charlie Morton's still of interest to me. I think I prefer Noah Syndergaard. And again, Chris Sale, 11-2. Been fantastic as of late. Now you're going to get the toughest matchup in the league. A team that doesn't strike out, where Chris Sale thrives. This is best against the best right now. This is going to be a fun matchup to watch with this Chris Sale versus Houston team. Top of the order for Houston. The best hitters in the league right now with Springer, Bregman, Brantley, just all crushing the ball, batting like 330 plus each. And then that's not even to count your Correas that you have. Your Josh Reddick, who's actually hitting the ball well, hit a homer yesterday. So, yeah, Chris Sale, does he individually worry me? No, but when you're taking into account the price, the matchup, the ownership, it's something that I might get away from once again and go right back to not playing Chris Sale at that price point. What do you think is a better stack, and how do you think Giannis will do? What do you think is a better stack out of what? The 2 that you just listed, Curry, McCollum, Lillard, Draymond, Curry, Giannis. Draymond, Curry, Giannis for me. I mean, I don't know which Curry that is, though. I imagine Seth, but maybe not. I don't know. C. Anderson, I had 5,500. I had for 5,500. He had a nice little 22 point to get consistent players. You need to get the stacks. C. Anderson for 5,500. Is that on FanDuel? I don't know who you're talking about. Is that yesterday? I imagine maybe. Yeah, so right now I'm leaning, and again, it's 9 a.m. I haven't built out any bats or anything like that. I'm leaning to get away from Chris Sale once again. Look, it might be more popular today to get away from him. That's just where I'm going. I like Syndergaard more against this Miami team. Great ballpark for him. Team just has no power. Syndergaard's going to strike these guys out. He's 10-4, $800 cheaper than Sale. I think I like that. I'm fine on Charlie Morton. I do like Shane Bieber as well. Baltimore, nothing that really strikes me. Trey Mancini's been crushing the ball, home runs, I think 3 out of the last 4 or 5 games for Mancini, playing extremely well. But outside of Mancini, nobody really scares me. Sure, Chris Davis might pop one here and there. Ruiz, whatever his name is, has been playing better as of late. Nothing scares me there from Bieber. So I think the mid-tier is actually nicer today than it has been as of late. And again, there's 20 teams on the slate. Yeah, he was pitching yesterday for Milwaukee. That's what I thought. Nice. That's a good relief. Yesterday I always pay up for pitchers as much as I can. I had the twin stack, which exploded. I had a really good MLB day yesterday. Twin stack explodes. I went with the Steven Strasburg, and I went with the, what's his name? The guy from the Angels. I forgot his name already. So yeah, I think the mid-range / lower range is nice. Trent Thornton, I think that in average to below average matchups, he does fine. I think that's what he's going to get today in a team that strikes out a good amount above average in these White Sox. I think that you can go to a Jared Eichhoff here and feel decent, although Colorado, not the team that you feel that great against. But I think at 7,800, he's some sort of salary relief that you can trust. The lowest I probably go is a Trent Thornton at 6,700. I don't think I want to get any lower than that. You can maybe say that you want to go and get this. No, I'm not even going to go down there. I'm not even going to go to Yefrim Ramirez or whatever the hell his name is. I don't want to go down there. I'm a guy who just doesn't pay down. I'm a guy who, if I'm going to punt a pitcher, it's not going to be at 5,500. Gregory Soto, but let's talk about this. I don't know how this man is still starting. He only pitched like 2 innings last time out against Houston, whatever it was. He didn't get the full start. I don't know how he's still in the league right now. Oakland Bats are obviously going to be popular today, or at least they should be, because Gregory Soto, whether he's pitching 1 or 2 innings, and then you're going to get a bottom 5 bullpen in Detroit coming in for 6+ innings, I don't like it. Joseph, or I like Oakland. I don't want nearly do not play Gregory Soto, but just the fact that you're going to get Oakland and it's just such a favorable spot, whether it's the starting pitcher or the bullpen, they should be in a position to just smash today. I keep coming up with a lot of Rio. Is he safe? I'm not going to get to much. Is he safe? Sure. I mean, the strikeout rate's going to be right around 28%. That's fine. You're facing a below-average team and striking out 26, based on this slate, 26%. The park factor is not great for him, so that doesn't help. His opponent, above-average ISO today, he gives it up to more so righties, but really he's average to a little bit decent overall. He's a good pitcher, right? I mean, he's 10-7 on the slate. He's averaging the highest fantasy points per game on this slate, but let's not just think that that's something that we should really hold much weight into, right? Chris Sale's just been dominating as of late. Not going to walk a lot of guys, not going to give up a lot of home runs, although this park does beg for more home runs, gives up some hard hit percentage. So yeah, against the Cincinnati team, I'm not too worried about it if you're going to go with him. But at 10-7, I think there's just better options. I mean, you could save 300. Look, if you're playing a tournament, maybe you get some ownership relief from a guy like Rue. But Syndergaard against Miami, I mean, it's really tough to get away from that for $300 cheaper. Bieber for $1,700 in savings against Baltimore, a guy who is going to be similar in terms of he has a nice CRA as well in this slate. He's going to be some salary relief for you. Doesn't walk a ton of guys. He gets hit hard. That's the problem. He's going to give up hard hit percentage. But who is there that scares you on this Baltimore team in terms of just isolated power? It's probably just Mancini, maybe a little Chris Davis. Nobody outside of that, really. 1 second, as I do have breakfast cooking, and I've got to be 2 seconds, flip this goddamn bacon, because I could hear that stuff snap, crackling, and popping out there like Rice Krispies. Hold up. Hey, there we go. Joseph, thanks. And yeah, it's GPP. Yeah, so I mean, GPP salary relief for Rue makes sense, but I probably don't get there too much. I know I'm not going to get there too much. At that price point, if you're telling me I'd rather go up to Sale. In a tough matchup, I don't want much Sale, so I'm going to end up... Most of my lineups probably start around Noah Syndergaard, personally. It's just hard not to, in my opinion. Charlie Morton, I think, is fine, but again, he's in a situation where, yes, strikeout rate is up for him. It's nice, but he's going up against a team that just doesn't strike out and has power here. Not a favorable overall spot for him. Sal's breakfast ready for us. Mighty nice of you, Monk. Yeah, I got bacon, some spinach, got to throw some eggs and then some feta cheese on it, some little ketchup, eat that stuff up. Look at these slates for the NBA. Yeah, so, or the MLB, NFL. I almost said, God, I wish today Sunday was MLB. But yeah, I'm going to go eat that breakfast. So get any questions you have in 1 more minute because that stuff is going to need to be flipped and I'm going to go eat it. So yeah, it's for me always pitching is the upper end. If you want me to go down, Trent Thornton is a guy that I've played sometimes with success when he is in a favorable to neutral matchup. And I believe that's what he's in today. Definitely a park upgrade for him. Not a guy who's going to blow you away, right? He doesn't get a lot of ground balls. He doesn't have the greatest strikeout upside, right? And overall, this team is a little bit of a strikeout team. You're talking about a guy who's 6,700. That's the lowest I'd go on this slate today. I'm fine in the mid-range if you do want to go and you do want to get yourself a Jared Eichhoff. Usually Wade Miley is a guy that I like, but not today. Not today against Boston. Not something I'm targeting at all. I'm not going to get to much of a Mike Fears today at 8,200 on DraftKings. Seems like a little bit much for me, although in terms of just the win upside, the equity, and getting those 4 extra points, yeah, it's there with Mike Fears. It's pretty obviously there with Mike Fears today. I gravitate towards these top guys. Syndergaard, Charlie Morton, and Shane Bieber are really where a lot of my attention is going. Brandon Woodruff, I would like, but this is just a brutal matchup for Woodruff here. Got a team that just doesn't strike out once again, a team that has a ton of power. Again, he limits that power to righties, so if you did want to make a stack against a Woodruff, if you want to play Atlanta Bats, I'd be targeting more so some of those lefties in the middle of the order. Yeah, best MLB stacks, says Terry Say. I don't know. No idea. I've not looked into stacks yet, so I don't know what the lineup construction looks like. This is how I start my day. I look at the pitchers, I look at the matchups right here, I break down more into pitchers that I like. I go from stacks there. I imagine Oakland's going to be a popular stack today just because they're getting a pitcher who should be in AA right now and been terrible in 1.5 starts, and then they're going to get the bottom 5 bullpen in the entire league. So I think that that's a pretty fine stack. Yeah, I think that the Mets are also a fine stack, especially if you want to get some correlation with win upside for Syndergaard. It's never needed in MLB, but I think the Mets is a nice stack as well. Those are stacks that are obvious, right? There's some of the worst pitchers on the slate that you're going to be going after. I think if you want to get leverage on the field, go to a Houston stack. It's scary as hell. I doubt Chris Sale gets blown up, but if he was to get blown up, it'd be this slate. Best hitter today? No idea. Stacks is a better question in terms of best stacks. I don't really know positively where I'm going with those yet. But hitters, oh, God, no. Yeah, I play one-offs, but in terms of best hitter overall, I could honestly care less about individual hitting. It's about stacks for me, and then within those stacks, I could say, okay, out of this team, out of Atlanta, who is the best hitter? Okay, well then you're trying to stack, so I understand that. But best hitter on the overall slate, yeah, that's just not something that I really break down into, honestly. So I think that if you're going to be targeting just pitchers to go up against, look, Wade Miley, he's just not a guy who's going to give up a lot of bombs. He's not a guy who's going to give up anything, especially just the way that he pitches. He's not giving up power to either side of the plate for the most part. He's giving up a little bit more to righties, so I think going to Boston as a stack is fine. They're still going to be implied for a decent run total here. Wade Miley, although limiting power and having a high ground ball percentage, things like that, he's not in a pitcher's ballpark today, which hurts him, and he's going up against a team that has a ton of power in this lineup. So getting to some of the righties in this lineup for Boston makes some sense if that's where you're trying to go. I don't think that you have to not stack them, similarly how Houston has kind of an X over their name today. But I don't know what salaries look like for stacks. Like I said, the upper tier for pitchers is where I focus on. It's going to be more so Noah Syndergaard, Charlie Morton, Shane Bieber. Woodruff I probably don't get much to. Fears I probably don't get much to. And then I'm fine maybe playing around with the Jared Eichhoff. You can go and make a Milwaukee stack. I do like a Milwaukee stack. I don't think that Folty is playing well at all this year. He's been playing absolutely terrible, really. His Sierra is a 5.64. That's really, really bad. ERA is 6.02. So it looks a lot worse than it is, and it's still that bad. Everything's bad. He's giving up tons of home runs. So this Milwaukee team right here, he's giving up power to both sides of the plate. His ISO versus righties is almost 400. That's ridiculous. He's not striking anybody out. So in terms of just stacks, yeah, Milwaukee is one of the best stacks on the slate down there with Oakland. I do like the Mets. So Milwaukee, get all the Milwaukee you can. It should be a home run fest for them today from both sides of the plate. Righties maybe a little bit more from both sides of the plate, so especially when you factor in the lefties that are on this team, whether it's Moustakas, whether it's Kane, whether it's Yelich. It's going to be a home run fest there. What about Noah and Lopez with an Oakland stack and a GPP on Yahoo? You can stack 6 players over there. An Oakland stack I think is fine. Yes, 6 players seems usually like a lot. I probably don't get that much. What about Noah and Lopez? Lopez, Yeah, I mean, the team that he's going to be going up against, yeah, no ISO, all that ballpark factor is great. If you want to go there, you can. I think that that's fine. Like I said, and I don't go below 6,700 Thornton, so I think Lopez is a fine play, especially for GPP. Noah, yeah, I like Noah a lot today. Probably my favorite pitcher to get to is Noah Syndergaard. So yes, that is it. I got to go make this breakfast. It's probably fucking burning. Peace out, gang. If you're watching this later on the stream, hit a like. Peace.